Hello fellow cine enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today's movie I will be reviewing for you is The Shining from 1980, directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. The Shining, if you're unfamiliar with the story, is about this guy named Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, and his wife, Wendy, played by Shelley Duvall, and their young son Danny are tasked with taking care of this hotel called the Overlook Hotel out in like the mountains, middle of nowhere in Colorado. And it's for the winter. This hotel is only seasonal, it's open for the spring and then it closes because the snow is just really, really bad up there. So Jack and Wendy and Danny are going to live at the hotel and just take care of it, keep it, up to date and keep up the maintenance and everything, make sure everything is still running smoothly so that the hotel can function when guests come back in the spring. But weird things start happening at the Overlook Hotel. They start to hear things, and poor little Danny starts getting visions of really bad things going on and really scary things, and then Jack starts going off his rocker and just turning into crazy Jack Nicholson. That's the only way to describe him. If you know Jack Nicholson, you know the guy is freaking off his rocker anyway, and he just turns into a crazy raving Jack Nicholson. That's all I'm gonna give you for the story of The Shining. I don't want to give too much away. This was my first time watching The Shining. I actually made a mistake in reading the book first. I was really wanting to read the book. I've never read a Stephen King book before this. I know, shame on me for never having even read a Stephen King book or seen The Shining before this. But I was really curious to read the book. I was in the mood to read the book before I watched the movie, and that was a big mistake because I don't like The Shining as a movie. I'm probably one of the only people out there in the world, one of the only cinephiles out there who is like, oh, The Shining sucked. I mean, I could not get into it. The pace was just unbearably slow for me. I did not like Shelley Duvall's acting whatsoever. I thought she was horrible as Wendy. And, I obviously compared to the book. And their characters, Wendy and Jack's characters, are not likable whatsoever. And they aren't likable in the movie, so I'm glad that was kept. But I could not get into their characters whatsoever. I was not invested with any of them except for Danny. The little kid was the only good actor to me in this whole movie. And I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it. I was not crazy about the music. Right from the beginning, I thought the music was just horrendous. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, it just felt like a big ass joke to me with the kind of music that was being played at the beginning. But for all the negative ways that I feel about this movie and how much I really wasn't crazy about it and the way certain things played out compared to the book, there were a few great things about this movie. There was a scene where Jack goes to the bar and he starts talking to a ghost. Like, he's just talking. It's like he starts off talking to nobody and then this like person just appears and starts giving Jack drinks and everything, and the conversation is just really cool. The way it was filmed, I was like, yes, this is awesome, love this. Like, I felt scared in that situation, more like a little on edge. I'm not gonna say scared. To me this movie was not scary at all. It was more suspenseful for me. I really like that because I feel like you felt the tension of the character a little bit more. You felt more of his craziness in that scene, at least for me, because he's talking to nobody, basically. He's talking, if somebody were to walk in, they'd be like, what the fuck who are you talking to? And it's a ghost, and I just like the way that whole scene plays out, and I like the whole conversation and the way Jack Nicholson acted in that part. I like that a lot. And then there was this scene on the stairs between Jack and Wendy. I'm not going to give that away, but it was just so good. It starts out on like the main floor of the lobby, and then you see the conversation from each of their perspectives. So you see Wendy walking away, the camera pans to Wendy walking away, and then it flips over and you see Jack walking towards Wendy, and oh my god, I was just like, yes, 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 love it, love it, love it, this is great. And the whole scene, the whole conversation between them of, you know, you get Wendy, you see Jack seeing Wendy go up the stairs, and then you see this like malevolent, evil, like just awful face of Jack. This is where Jack Nicholson was actually like really perfect, like where his creepy facial expressions and actions come out, and they were perfect. And the way she just sees him is so sinister, and he just kind of sees her as like this whimpering, like weak woman. That's how I interpreted the scene. I loved it. I love the way it was filmed. Absolutely adored it. I really did like Stanley Kubrick's direction. I thought his direction was wonderful, and I didn't really know what I was expecting with Stanley Kubrick's direction. I liked his panning shots. There were a few scenes where like Danny would be running, or Danny would be like on his little tricycle or some kind of bike that he had, and he'd be going through the hotel, and the camera would just like follow him. Oh, loved it, loved it, loved it, because I thought like actually those scenes were also more suspenseful. Because you see, like, even if Danny wasn't like afraid and he was on his bike, because it's, you know, I guess you're expecting something to just go like pop out at you while he's riding his bike. Again, that's how I felt about it, and you know, it doesn't happen, but I think just the way it follows him from the back, and you're seeing what he's seeing as he's going around on his bike. Love it, love it, love it. I thought it was great. And then especially the scenes where he's running away at the end, he's like running for his life. I really like that. It added such great suspense. I'm not crazy about The Shining. I should not have read the book first. I will give you that. I will admit it. I thought the ending to the movie was absolutely ridiculous. And the ending to the book, trust me, if you have not read the end of if you haven't read The Shining in general, the end is so much better. I feel it's so much more satisfying. There was one scene in the book that I was really, really, really looking forward to seeing, and I was hoping it would be in it. It was so gross, but like so freaking cool at the same time. I was like, please let this be in the movie, and it wasn't, and it kind of let me down. But and I felt like the ending to The Shining in the movie was really silly. I was like, you gotta be kidding, like that's just so stupid. And but you know, I'm willing to give The Shining another watch, and I'm going to eventually watch it again once the book is a little bit farther from my mind. I'll watch it again, and I won't hate it as much. I won't dislike it as much, hopefully, and maybe I can just appreciate it for the movie that it is. I do like what was taken from the book, and I do like what was taken out and not included in the movie. There were a few things I was like, oh, thank God, because there was like some things in the book I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is so corny and cheesy, but it was good in that way. Like the story, you know, well, Stanley Kubrick, I think, did a decent job. Stephen King notoriously absolutely hates The Shining. He didn't like it. He didn't like how Wendy and Jack were portrayed. And I have to say, I totally agree with Stephen King on that point. I think Stanley Kubrick's version of Wendy and Jack Torrance are very weak. But anyway, that's my feeling on The Shining. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not, like, I mean, I can see it for what it is and how people are like, this is one of the greatest movies ever. It's amazing. I do get it. I get it. But for me, I just couldn't get into it. I thought the pacing was slow and all my other reasons I just named. But I'm not going to tell you guys to not see it. It is one of those movies that, like, one of those classic movies that you have to see eventually in your life. So definitely go watch The Shining if you haven't. And yeah, so that's my review, kind of like slash bitching about The Shining. If you like this review slash bitching in any way, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. If you have seen The Shining, what do you think of it? What was your favorite scene? maybe you guys can help me see something about the movie that I may have missed the first time around. And also in the comments below, if you have any requests for movies, be them old movies, new movies, whatever you got, put them there. And if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I'll give you a shout out. Who doesn't want a shout out in a YouTube video? How cool is that? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Let's Get Reelz movie reviews. And also hit that bell notification too, because my uploading schedule is here nor there. It's just all over the place. So if you hit that bell notification, you will know as soon as I upload. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.